Today we're going to be focusing on factoring trinomials. Now, one important thing is that we will be in this unit learning about two different types of trinomials. This is trinomial type 1. This is where the leading coefficient, right, so what's in front of our x squared, our leading coefficient here, a is 1, not greater than or equal to. The next one is going to be greater than or equal to, but this is when the trinomial is equal to 1. So you really won't see an a here. So we're going to take some notes on that. So go ahead and pause the video here to take our notes. I'm just going to add one more part to our notes here. Something that we forget, right? So it's if a GCF is taken out or factored out, you have to remember, we said this right last class, that we need to remember to include it in the final answer. It's something that people usually forget to do, so making a note of it here is important. So go ahead and pause the video to take these notes before we try example number 1. I'm going to put these side by side just so we have the instructions and just take our time, right? So here's x squared plus 7x plus 12. So we have ax squared plus bx plus c. Just trying to do it here so that we can actually visually see everything. We see our leading coefficient is a, but if we do a times c, so in this case 1 times 12, we get 12. That means we want to find the factors of 12. It says find the factors of a times c. Again, this lesson, all the a's are 1. So we want to find factors of 12, and then we want to focus to see that it sums to b. But let's focus on the factors of 12 first. Our factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. This lesson is supposed to make you list all the factors. If you don't list the factors, that's okay, because if you find the answer, you can stop there, right? But this is going to make you quicken up your math facts. If you do not know your factors, you should be practicing them. At one point, you're going to be like, oh, I know what the answer is, without even thinking about it. Now we want to look at our sets of factors to say what sums to b. Well, 1 plus 12, whether it's a positive 1 or positive 12. Nope. Positive 1 and positive 12 gives me 13. Negative 1 and negative 12 gives me negative 13. Negative 1 and a positive 12 gives me 11. And a positive 1 and negative 12 gives me a negative 11. Okay, this is not going to work, right? So we do the same process between 2 and 6. We see that 3 and 4 work. This will give me a sum of 7. Great. We want to figure out the signs. Are they both going to be positive? Are they both going to be negative, right? Again, whatever signs I use, they need to multiply to a positive 12. But then if I use those same numbers and the same signs that I chose, they need to sum to 7. So I immediately set up my both of my binomials, right? I have an x and an x, and I need to figure out my signs. In this case, they're both going to be a positive, because positive 3 times positive 4 gives me a positive 12, and positive 3 plus positive 4 gives me a positive 7, which is exactly what I wanted. There is a way to check this if you want to. You simply FOIL it out. See if you get the final answer again, right? X times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 4 is 12. Simplify it, and I still get the same answer I had before that I started with. Let's try. I want you guys to try number 1. Below. A times c is 8. Factors of 8, we have 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Now, if you start looking at this, when you need to sum to a larger number, usually you're going to go with the factors that are further apart. If the number is smaller, you want to go to the numbers that are closer together. So again, factors, you start to get quicker at this. So now I need to multiply to a positive 8, but then I need to sum to a negative 9. Once you start playing with this, you'll start to see, well, I need a positive 8 and a negative 9, so a negative times a negative is going to give me a positive number, but a negative plus a negative is going to give me a much smaller negative number, which is great. That's what I wanted. I can go ahead and check this, and this is the final answer. Go ahead and practice up to problem number 8. I'm going to display the answers, and you'll notice, so before I go over this and you look at the answers, go ahead and pause it so you can practice it. Now that you've practiced it, or maybe you struggled with number 4 is prime because there is nothing that will multiply to 10, but then also give me a sum of positive 9. If you notice, I wrote in here, 1 and 10, there's a difference of 9, but that means one of them has to be negative, and I can't have it negative. It just doesn't work to still multiply to a positive 10. So sometimes you will get an answer of positive, of prime, right? It won't work. Number 5, you need to put it into 15. You have to put it into standard form so that 15 is C. All of these things are separate things that we're practicing over and over again, and I'm not going to remind you about them. We have to remember them, which is why this unit and the next unit get a little tougher. The second part of this lesson brings back that GCF. If you look at the directions, it says to factor each trinomial, look for a GCF first. I'm not always going to give this direction. You just have to know what to do. So in this case, this lesson is supposed to force you to find the GCF first. We notice we have a 5, a 15, and a 50. Okay, great. I can take out a GCF of 5. So let's go ahead and do that. GCF of 5, I am left with x squared minus 3x minus 10. Now I'm just focused on the middle, right, what's in parentheses here, to find my factors of 10, which is a times c, so 1 times 10, that I want to sum to a negative 3. Well, my factors of 10 are 1, 10, 2, 5. Well, 2 and 5, right, can give me some sort of sum of 3, but we need a negative 3. So if we play with those numbers again, one of them has to be negative so I can get a negative 10. But now it's which one? Well, I want a negative 3, so I'm going to make the 5 a negative. Again, you could have written 2 first and then 5. It's up to you. That order does not matter. But I want a negative 5 and a positive 2. Because if I were to take negative 5 times positive 2, I do get a negative 10. If I were to add negative 5 plus 2, I do get a negative 3. So again, quickly check it. However, do not forget to bring your GCF down into your final answer because you will get points off, right? Otherwise, that final answer is not correct. This is your final answer. Go ahead and try number 10, and I will show you what the answers are to that next problem. Go ahead and continue to practice this so that you are practicing your factors. You're remembering to take out GCF. You're playing with the signs. A lot of this has to do with math facts, right? Multiplying and then adding. And the more you practice that, the quicker you'll get at it. So the quicker you can solve these types of problems. You will see factoring in so many other courses. Go ahead and try the next page and pause the video here so that you can practice. I'm going to display the answers now. You can pause the video so you can check your answers to the top of these problems. And then I'm going to scroll so you can check your answers to the bottom half of these problems. Go ahead and continue to practice this.